I don't know if you know this or not. I'm different than most kids. I liked cartoons as a kid. Most kids don't.
Yeah, kids don't usually like cartoons.
Yeah, they don't like cartoons, but I did.
You're so weird.
I know.
Let's just jump right into it. How did you get involved in pinball art, or specifically, how did you get involved with Stern Pinball?
When it comes to pinball, my story begins in 2011. Is anyone young enough to remember 2011?
Those were the before
That was a
times.
long time
before
ago.
times. Basically, I worked with a gentleman by the name of John Papaduke on a bunch of games that never came to fruition.
Oh no! How many? How many?
How
games?
many of those games
How many
did you
games?
work on?
Well, I technically worked on probably about 7 or 8 different titles.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to congratulate you, because today I saw one of those titles here,
it's too
like
bad.
15 years later. Congratulations.
Not really. All those projects failed miserably. Famously failed
But
miserably.
sometimes you have to fail to move forward, and so you met Greg Frerish through some of these projects.
Well, because of Dennis Nordman. Dennis Nordman reached out to me, and I worked on 2 projects with him, and then he goes, hey, I need to introduce you to this guy, Greg Frerish. And I go, did you just have a stroke? And he goes, no, his name's Frerish. And
Hey,
I go,
Greg.
don't you mean Ferris? I'm looking at Greg, by the way. He's over there.
Yeah, he's
And,
standing right here. He's
and I
Greg
believe-
Frerish,
making
art
sure he's
director,
not
Stern
lying about
Pinball.
stuff.
Thank you, Greg.
I believe I met him at Stern. Greg laughed at like a few of my jokes, and I go, this guy's good. I like him. And then over time, we emailed back and forth. And then one day, Greg goes, he like emails me, and he goes, hey, I might have something of interest.
What was that?
A game called Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I don't know if-
Anybody heard of the
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters game
Yeah.
out there? Let me see that.
Ghostbusters.
I don't know if you've heard of this, but it involved some fellas busting ghosts.
Some bustin' makes me feel
These
good.
guys were busting.
They were busting ghosts.
Because you know why? It
No.
made them feel good.
It did. I recall that they did feel good about it. Now and then and pretty much from there, I kept going. Hey, Greg, can I do more? And he goes, I don't know. And I go, please. And then he goes, well, you didn't say please. And so he's let me do other stuff.
You now work for Stern. I saw the other day you posted you've made like 50 art packages.
No, it's like closer to 21 if you
21?
count. That's counting Pro Premium LE.
So we had Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters,
Iron Maiden,
Deadpool.
We did Avengers,
Avengers,
Ninja Turtles,
Godzilla.
That's a pretty good group of games, and it sounds like you've worked with almost every design team on the roster.
Yes, I've worked with every team as of right now that's at Stern, I think.
Can you tell us the most challenging project you worked on?
No, I won't say that. But
Okay.
Well, only because I don't like to kiss and tell.
Okay.
I'm a gentleman.
Okay. So
I-
they've all been wonderful.
No.
And super.
Well,
So-
I think,
no, no.
and
So-
we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
is sometimes the ones with less constraints are harder.
So here's the thing. So Greg Frerish, he actually is really good at helping facilitate my strengths. And my strengths are working.
When you have a little bit of time to make something creative for yourself, what is that? What does that look like?
It doesn't.
Okay.
So I don't have time. So I have a different approach than a lot of my friends who do art, who literally are constantly just in sketchbooks. When I go into a project, I stay in it and I go deep for a long period of time because I don't want to disappoint people. First and foremost, my friends at Stern, but then greater than that, the community. And like, I kind of assume I'm always going to disappoint everyone.
That is super depressing.
It's
Well,
really
he's a
depressing.
He's a tortured artist,
It's
and
super depressing.
that's what
I
pushes
mean, you
him
have
forward.
very high standards for
Well,
yourself and for
listen.
the public in thinking that we would be disappointed in what you provide for us
Well-
when your art is everywhere in this room and we all love it.
So I'll give you just one example, and that is Godzilla. The Godzilla Pro, I colored, I hated it, and I scrapped it and started over. I didn't have the time to do that, by the way, based on the schedule, but I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
and what came out
Because
is
it's
better.
still your name on it. So if you're not happy
listen,
with it,
listen. Here's the thing people don't know is when you're a freelance illustrator, you're only as good as the last thing you did. Now, some people can ride on like their past successes, like pinball designers. Burn. I'm kidding.
Let's go back in time. What was it that got you into this field, this art field, and how did you start drawing?
I started drawing before I could form memories in my mind. I don't know. I've just always been
how
drawing.
do you know you started drawing if you can't remember?
Because my grandmother kept drawings I did from when I was like 2 years old.
So there.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
And I don't remember any of them. I look at them, I go, those are terrible. Why would anybody hire me?
High expectations
You're
of
an
yourself as a
awful
2-year-old.
artist, baby artist.
I was like, what? What kind of kid? Like, I would have gotten rid of that kid.
So were you one of those people that like went through school and all their formative years knowing that you wanted to be an artist?
Yes and no. Like yes, it was the only thing I was good at. So what would happen is I would be at school, and I would draw things that I would rather have been doing than being in school. And essentially, everything I drew was based upon video games or cartoons.
You
And that was
just
it.
set yourself up to be a pinball artist.
In a lot of ways, that's actually kind of true in the most weird sense. When I got out of school, the .com, this is how old I am, the .com thing was going on, the big bubble boom thing was growing.
Bubble bust.
Yeah, whatever that, it was before it busted. I learned a lot about user interface. And what I found in pinball when I came back to it was the playfield is user interface. And so by knowing the user interface, I was able to kind of break it a little bit and try to push things a little further. I don't know if it's successful in how I approach it, but I enjoy
Well, we keep
trying.
asking you to do more, so it must be somewhat
For
successful.
now, for now.
For now, you're
For
only
now.
as good as your last
Yeah.
project,
You're only
right?
as good as your last battle. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for everything you've done for the art community, for the pinball community.
We walk